Ladies and gentlemen, Pimpmunk. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Wood. This is the Morning Wood where you get what, Missy?
Wooded so good.
Yes, indeed. It is a Monday, unfortunately. It is, September 14th, unfortunately, of the year, unfortunately. So everything's unfortunate today. But here is a fortunate thing. We do have a great guest, two great guests, actually. But neither one of them is here. We got the amazing Vito, who is a magician, comedy, entertainer extraordinaire. Looks like kind of like a peanut too. And we've got the one I call Chubby Van Halen, the better Van Halen, Mr. Dirk Cobain.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Vito? Do you think I have any resemblance to Eddie Van Halen?
Yes.
Yeah, if he ate a lot of ice cream and shit.
That's what I think. That's why I call him the Chunky Van Halen.
That's funny. I don't personally see it, but maybe I'll do it.
If you ever went back to the old school Eddie Van Halen when he was young and looked at his pictures, his photos, you actually do resemble him. I mean, you don't look exactly like the fucker, but you there's some resemblance there.
Yeah, I'm not, nothing, you're good looking. Okay?
And take the amazing video here. His celebrity lookalike is Mr. Peanut.
Yeah. Here, I'll show you. You want to see? Here, hold on.
And mine is every fat guy, every fat celebrity in history, apparently, because I've been compared to every fat celebrity in history. So,
really?
Y'all do. If they're fat and famous, I've been compared to them.
You were compared to Winston Churchill?
There you go.
Yes, actually, yes. No, actually,
and he leaves.
Well, that's just retarded. What did Shabisky just do?
He showed up and left.
He did a disappearing trick.
He saw who's on, and he's like, I'm out of here.
I think he showed up by accident, actually, today. But no, I think we all got someone we kind of resemble.
I've gotten Jack Black from two separate people.
I get Brad Pitt a lot.
No, you don't.
I don't, but I like saying that.
Yeah, I get Fat Pitt.
You want to see a fat
Shabisky looks like a young John Waters.
No, I look like an old John
really
Waters.
I've gotten told I look like a young Elizabeth Taylor before.
Oh,
I
dang.
ain't thought about that. At one time, she was considered the most beautiful woman on the planet. So there you go, Missy. Somebody told you that. They were complimenting you.
until
Some old white lady.
I can see it. No,
Please.
well, when she was young and she was in like one of the original Star Trek episodes, she was quite stunning in that episode.
Yeah, she was a fetching lady for sure. What were you gonna say, Vito?
when she this is how famous she was when she was in a movie and the director wanted to throw a party and they're all multi-millionaires, these guys.
Yeah.
So they threw a party for her and he had the room that she was in the same color as her eyes painted.
Oh wow.
I come home, I get for my birthday, half of my big turkey is bitten in half. She gets the whole fucking room painted. I need a better background. You guys got wicked background.
Yeah, we
There you go.
That's great. Yeah, just hold it up. You got this. I love this.
Tablecloth up. That's good.
Looking like a plain grandmother.
Yeah. Hey, I like grandmas, man. Grandmas cook the best food.
They do.
They do. Oh, that's why Missy cooks so good.
Mm-hmm. I'm 403 years old.
You know, you just got an inner grandma in you. That's all. You get the inner grandma. Because one day you will be a grandmother, I assume.
Unfortunately.
Probably very soon to where that one kid of your fucks. But
I swear to God.
She's got a hooker son.
I already told him if he knocks anybody up, that's their parents' problem.
Dude, you're not looks positive, but the way your kid acts and stuff reminds me of me so much when I was that age. Because I was in the sports and all that shit. I was a jock, and it just the way you say he talks to you and stuff, it just kind of reminds me of me and my mom a lot.
Yeah, he's a little shithead.
So Shabisky, why'd you show up late?
My thing didn't ring. I didn't hear it, and then all of a sudden
everybody else's thing rang, but yours didn't. So everybody else's thing, you know, it's called a Skype. It's not called a thing.
No.
No. Just no.
Pam,
So that's your argument, no.
Yeah, that's basically my argument. No.
No.
I won. I won, bitch.
I win. No.
Well,
I win every time like G-Man.
Why did you insult me? I didn't insult you. I didn't call you a bitch.
Well, here's your chance.
I'm not going to do that. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
I'm like G-Man.
I tried to put myself in.
Yeah, you're like G-Man too.
I'm like G-Man 1.
Yeah, I haven't talked to G-Man in about 4 years. I did an interview with him. How is that? Like, is he still
He's
not?
a fucking piece of shit is what he is. I used to think of G-Man as like a lolcow, right? He's like a funny guy who you can, even though you may disagree with him a lot, you still make jokes about him and whatever and have a little fun with him. Well, a couple of weeks ago on Drunken Peasants, I was on the show and he came on and he went on a transphobic tirade where he talked about beating trans girls to death with baseball bats. He went to a different level of hate. And he's no longer a lolcow. He's just a bigot.
He said he was going to beat them with baseball bats wrapped in barbed wire, set them on fire, throw them out a window, and then run them over with a truck.
But he said he didn't say anything about murdering them. He just wanted to do all those things.
Yeah, he just wanted all of that. He didn't want to kill them. He just wanted to do all of those things.
All those murderous acts.
Do you think he does it as an act?
Well, no, no, I don't. That's the thing about it, is because I've always said this about a lot of people want to claim G-Man's a troll. I don't know. I do not think he's a poet whatsoever. I think G-Man does believe what he says. I do. I believe that G-Man actually believes in the Bible. I believe he believes what he talks, and when he says it, I actually do believe he means it. Now, do I think he'll do it? There's a difference between saying something and acting on it. But if you have those thoughts, there is the potential for acting on it. And I don't want to be around someone who has that kind of thoughts toward people. Because, I mean, like, you know, I've got many trans friends. One of my best friends just came out as trans. So that, you know, Missy has a trans child. You know, I'm okay with jokes. I'm okay with jokes, but that wasn't jokes.
Right.
So it was nothing but hate and venom coming out of him?
Yeah, and it sounded like it, because you, as a comedian, you know this. You can tell when somebody, even if it's not funny, their intentions are funny, right? There was, it just sounded hateful. It did not sound like anything hateful.
He was a guest on your show?
He was a guest on DP, Drunken Peasants, and I was on that night too. I was a guest on that night. Well, actually, he wasn't even a guest. We called him in on the show to fuck with him about another video about something completely different than trans people. But somehow we got on that topic, and boom, he went.
But you know, I did this thing where me and him had an argument, like a really bad one, in a hangout, and I said I'm going to come down there and beat the living shit out of you. That's how bad it got.
Yeah.
And I said afterwards, I thought about it, and I said, you know what? I look like a psychopath in that whole going back and forth and arguing and fighting. So I said to him,
Whoa.
Oh shit!
Don't
Oh
worry
my
about
God.
that. You got some monies.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that.
Oh,
I think you forgot a couple thousand though.
When I talked to him I said, listen, man, I don't want to argue with you or anything. I know you're a wrestling fan.
Wow.
Let's just
Yeah.
talk about wrestling. And all we did is we talked about wrestling, didn't argue or anything. And to me, he seemed like, to me, it was like when he acts up and says these things. Now,
Yeah.
you've seen him a lot more. I haven't seen him in years. To me, it just seems like he does say these things just to get a rise out of people. Like, why would you say something so hurtful, right? Like
Because he believes he's right.
yeah. To me, I hope that he's playing. I hope he's playing an act because if
I wish he would. I hope he is playing an act. I hope he is. But honestly, here's the thing. Here's what's even, to me, makes it more scary, because he doesn't believe it's hurtful to people. He doesn't believe it's wrong. He believes he's right. He believes that gay people and transgender people are just evil. He believes they're sinners and they're beneath him. He believes that. And now, I hope it's an act, but I don't think it is. And I agree with you. Because I used to make this argument for G-Man all the time. Like, well, if you don't talk to him about religious stuff, it's okay. Because I have had discussions with him about football, because he's a football fan. I'm a huge football fan. And we've sat down and talked about that. And it was actually pretty good conversation. Yeah. But then when you get to the religious shit, it gets stupid. But to me, even if he was joking, then he needs to learn how to joke. He needs to learn how to be funny with it. Because if you're going to say any kind of edgy shit, you know this, you have to have the skill to make people know that you're joking.
Yeah, but there's a way of saying a joke without being hurtful, or even a gay or trans person would find it funny.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So you gotta know. And it's just basic, right? It's just
it's simple shit.
I see, especially younger guys, they will purposely say something, horrible, and afterwards I'll talk to them, going, like I try and whatever. I just say, listen, you did the joke all wrong. If the goal was to be hurtful, you hit it.
Yeah.
But if you want people to laugh, that's just not the way to go about it.
Well, one thing I've always done, being, trying my best to be funny and stuff, is I've always, first off, I think you'll agree, most comedians do this. They self-deprecate and then they use insult humor, because they're putting themselves on the same level as the audience. They're not saying I'm better than you.
No, but so you could even go lower than the audience. You just say,
yeah, exactly.
The best, my thing, the way I do stand up or magic or anything like that, it's self-deprecating, because it's just, I remember years ago, I used to do this fat joke, really fat joke. Mm-hmm. And I remember a girl sitting at the front, and she just smiled, but it was hurtful. And I'll tell you right now, man, it bugged me so much that when I was done with the show, like I said, I'm never doing that joke again. But I went up to her and I said, I'm so sorry if that joke bothered you.
Yeah.
And she said, no, it's okay. It's fine. And I said, no, it bugs me. And I go, and I retired the joke. It was a funny bit, but I don't. Well,
that's like me and Ray. Oh, that's like me, because I grew up in a neighborhood with nothing but black kids and stuff like that, and so I felt like that I had a connection in a way with. But after I did a lot of racial humor for a long time. I recently stopped all that because I realized I was funny. People found it funny, but then after I look at it, if it started cringing me, I know it started cringing other black folks. So I just stay away from that shit now.
But you know what? Some people don't have a filter. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, they'll keep going, and I don't get it, but to each their own. If they want to do that, You know, I remember I talked to a tattoo artist, and he said he did a tattoo for. He was a Jewish guy, and he said he did a tattoo of that German, the Nazi symbol, the
Swastika.
Swastika.
He said he did it right on the guy's chest, and the guy wanted a small one, and the tattoo artist said, no, well, why don't let's do a big one for you? And I said to him, I go, why would you do that? Like, why would you do, like, why, you wouldn't you be hurtful about this? And he just said, I want him to have that tattoo so everybody knows he's an asshole.
I get that. I can get that. Well, the swastika is also Shabisky's birthmark, so. Yeah.
It's on my ass. You want to see?
Yeah, we want to see your ass.
I got two little hearts. It's so cute.
I got a penis. That's a birthmark. Not much of one. It's a very tiny birthmark. But anyways, yeah, edgy humor is good. I love edgy humor, but we've already reached a lot of that edge. How far can you push something? I think we need to move on and start new stuff. But G-Man wasn't being funny. He wasn't funny at all. But G-Man's also not smart.
Does he think the planet is flat?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I don't think he's
I never heard that.
I don't think he's a flat earther. I don't believe so. Bulls may be able to tell you more about that than I don't think so.
Booleanenator once told me, this is a long time ago, he said, yeah, he was in a chat and he was talking about a flat earth shit, and I just thought, oh God, he didn't go there,
I'm not sure.
I can't confirm if he's actually a flat earther, but he has intimated that he can't be sure that he can believe everything that's told to him about the shape of the earth. So it's like,
now, I know he doesn't believe in slavery. Well, he
believes in slavery.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
What do you mean he believes in slavery?
He doesn't necessarily believe it's a bad thing. Is what he's.
Right. He says, well, the slavery in the Bible, he says, wasn't a bad thing.
That's right, because they would get only whipped 3 or 4 times a day,
And he also doesn't believe there's any such thing as starving Christian children. He don't believe Christians can go hungry.
Right.
No, well, I did.
If you're a true Christian.
I did a charity event this weekend, and we raised $2,300, or more than that. Last week was $2,300, $2,500 this week or something. And it goes to kids in Haiti. Half the money goes towards kids in Haiti who are starving that are, I'm sure some of them are Christian, but the other money goes towards pets and animals, awesome. Whatever. So that whole thing about there's no such thing as starving, I think he needs to see the world. Go and see the world, man.
Well, yeah, exactly. G-Man's stuck in his own head. I mean, and it's like there's no having this. He's all about wanting to debate people and stuff, but there's no discourse there. He wants, it's just weird. G-Man's a weird cat.
Like, does he just go, like, I haven't seen him in so long, but I remember watching him in a discussion, and he doesn't let the guy speak. He just yells and whatever. And I just
that's the problem with people.
It's got to be an act, man, because that, like, in your head, you got to sit there and say, if I keep cutting you off and every second, like I'm doing right now, how do you respond?
That's the internet mentality. Well, that's the whole internet mentality, though. If you look at it, that's just trying to be alpha. That's a lot of people on here. They claim they want to have discourse and debate, but most of the shit that I've seen on YouTube and other platforms there's no debating. It's arguing. People trying to get one over on the other person. Trying to insult. Debating is not what they think it is. They've actually never seen a debate, I guess, because a debate is, point counterpoint. That is a debate.
I agree with you, but you know what the problem is with the thing is with the internet? I could sit here and be rude and complete idiot and cut you off during a debate. But here's the thing. If we're in the same room, that wouldn't happen.
No.
You know, people feel safe because you're.
Oh yeah.
You're in another.
Keyboard warriors.
Yeah, so you could say stuff that is hurtful and you know, and ad hominem and attack the person.
It gives you a feeling of protection.
Well, it gives you a feeling at the end. You think you won the argument because
you accomplished something.
You accomplished something, but all you did is you just insulted the person and you insulted your own argument.
Yeah.
You know, I remember seeing this one guy doing a debate, and he wasn't rude. He was taking all these insults. And at the end, when you look at it, and you think back of the debate, you're like, that guy won.
Exactly. But you're thinking logically here. Most people in here do not think that way. You have a logical view on this, and I believe the same way you just said. I have sat there and watched people do that, and exactly the same point you just made, where the guy who wasn't screaming, who wasn't making an ass of himself, everybody was like, oh, he got beat, but really he didn't get beat because he never lost his cool. He kept his calm. He made his points. He's the one that actually did what he was there to do, you know, and, you know, but people don't get that. That's, you know, they think that screaming and insults are winning. And like you said, there's a lot of people like, dude, I get so tickled on here because I'm not, you know what I'm saying, I'm a bad motherfucker, but let's face it, I'm a bad motherfucker, right? In real life, I know how well I used to. I'm an old man now. Back in my younger day, I knew how to strangle people and whoop people's ass because that's what I did for a living. But however, and I see some of these little motherfuckers cussing me, and I'm like, dude, there's no way you would do that if I was standing beside you. There's no fucking way.
No way. I know. And that's the thing. I've told people this all the time. I say, if you were to talk to somebody at a bar like that, you would get a shot in the face.
Yeah, you get your ass whooped.
But people these days, you're over the net. You know you could say shit. And I remember seeing it was a bunch of guys, and they went down to where G-Man was supposed to go for a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
What happened was G-Man didn't know the guy. I'm screwing up the story, but the guy that he would argue with, his name Dreadnought.
Dreadnought.
Yeah,
he's still arguing with Drag.
That's who they
every day.
Yeah, but when they saw each other, he was terrified of Dreadnought. Mm-hmm. You know, so to me it just seems like everybody, you know, you're tough until
you're faced with it. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
everyone wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit.
Until they actually meet a motherfucker that will whoop your ass. I'd say years ago I got so tickled. There was this one dude on here that just trolled everybody, and he was such a dick. And then there was the guy who found out where he was, and he went to him and beat his ass on camera. And I mean, beat him up. And it was like, now talk your shit, and he would slap him. Talk your shit now and slap him. Dude wouldn't do a damn thing. And I was like, that, and you know, people are like, well, and a lot of people say, oh, the other guy wasn't wrong. He probably was. He probably shouldn't have went there and physically beat the guy. But what some of these cats don't realize, some of these motherfuckers that you're talking to were raised on the streets. And they just now getting the internet, and they will fuck your ass up.
Yeah, no one's worried about the consequences because they think the chances of me running into that person are slim to none, you know?
Yeah, and now it's getting different now because the anonymity of that, I'm saying that word wrong, I know, but the anonymous is rubbing off. People are starting to learn who each other are now. It isn't like it was back in the old days where you could just say shit. Now people on camera, people's IDs out there and stuff. So that whole deal's kind of rubbing off, and people will come after your ass.
Yeah, and it can make it very. I mean, whenever I would do, you know, I would go on shows or whatever. I forget what the place was called, but there was this one guy.
Money.
Love ya, pimp.
Love you too, buddy. Appreciate the tip very much. Thank you.
There was one guy that would come on, and it was like he would purposely try and get you pissed off. And I just thought, dude, what the fuck? What's the problem here? You know?
There's a lot of people that do that. They like get off on it somehow of seeing that they can get to you or seeing that they can get a rise out of you, or it's weird behavior.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they get out of it. I don't, if they
Some sort of superiority. They feel like a big man for once in their life.
Do you feel like a big man, Shabisky?
I know I'm a big man.
Shabisky's a troll.
You want me to beat you up?
I just got to go powder my nose.
There you go. So you got to go to cocaine.
You go powder that nose, cutie pie.
So Shabisky, you got my word?
Yeah, fuck. And then another word. You. One for tomorrow and today. I'm thinking ahead.
You hear my
I
sound?
don't think he's impressed.
That's why I hate not having a camera. I can't just look into the camera right now like that.
I think if you could see Pimp's face right now.
Well, man, we'll get Missy to do it for me. Missy, give him a pimp stare. That's not what I do. I don't pucker my fucking lips up.
I don't know how to stare. How do you like?
I don't do that.
I don't know, like a.
That was a fucking Steve Urkel look. We'll see if Dirk can do it. Dirk, give him a pimp look.
I mean, it would just be a look of pure disappointment.
Yeah.
You know that look that your dad has on his face?
Yeah.
That was so mean. That was horrible.
You're so mean to me.
But me being your dad, so you can understand that.
Evan LeFevre was his dad.
Oh, we got something to talk about, though, Chap. See, everything you say gets back to me immediately. You know that, right? Like, during the show, when you say things, like on DP, Ben immediately types to me on Facebook and tells me what you say.
telling me that he ratted on me?
Immediately.
He immediately ratted
Dude,
on me?
I'm sure Ben. I'm sure he didn't.
I'm going to rat on somebody else.
Come on the show and fuck with you. But I didn't feel like coming on the show and fucking with you. But I heard what you said.
I'm sure Ben.
Your sidekick.
I'm sure Ben's got mad court reporter skills. I'm sure he's typing that shit as fast as you say it, Shabisky.
He's your sidekick.
Yeah, Shabisky said I was his sidekick.
What?
You called Pimp your sidekick on DP? Of all places to say that.
Yeah,
you're going to say it on DP.
My fucking fan base is all DP's fan. So, like, Ben immediately told me about 12 people messaged me.
What? Oh, they're lying. Don't believe them, Pimp. I never said a damn thing.
Rad at all.
You know, I don't know if you've seen what I said. I came into the chat room for about 10 minutes. I don't know if you've seen what I said, but what I said was, you only talk when I fucking move my hand.
Oh.
Damn.
Oh.
See, that's just proof right there. You control me, Pimp.
No,
you control my every move.
Every time
I take a dab, every time I play a game of Fall Guys, that's you with your hand up my ass.
Whoa.
You control me.
I like this sound effect.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part.
Does G-Man still pull out the Bible and go through scripture?
Yep.
Yes, and he also still drops names that nobody knows who the fuck he's talking about.
He starts every stream now with, in the Bible, they call a fool this, that, and the third. So when you hear me calling somebody a fool, it's not me calling them names. I'm just simply saying what the Bible says.
But the thing he does that irritates me the most is the name dropping. Like, and if you're going to name drop people's names as people know who the fuck you're talking about. It's saying, I don't know who Carl from 3rd Street is, motherfucker. I don't know who that is.
Well,
these Israelite, whatever, the African Israelites or whoever.
Well, I know who they are. I know the organization.
He keeps name dropping them.
the Jehovah Witness will start with the COVID is starting to go down around here, and you're going to see that the Jehovah Witnesses will start up. And I think that what you do is, see, before the Jehovah Witness starts spewing, you just cut them off, because they will just start. As soon as you open the door, they just go at it 90 miles an hour, right? Mm-hmm. So what you do is you just cut them off. And I have my own Bible, right? And what I do is you just say, listen, and I sell these 3 easy payments of $39.95, and you get one of these babies, right? And I just say, listen, before you even start, let me read you from my scripture. And my favorite in here is Genesis. So I just go to Genesis.
Damn.
Once you do that, they run like Judas did when he ratted out on Jesus.
There you go. That'll fuck him up right there, buddy.
On a book that lights on fire. You're a boss.
I was riding around with my girlfriend.
Wait a minute. I was just reading some script.
What y'all talking about?
So, yeah, I do miss I like a good debate, man. Like, I love when two people debate and they know their stuff. And even if you don't agree with the other person, I still like if a person has, and debating is a skill, right?
It is.
If you've got a good debate, if you know how to debate somebody, it's like watching a tennis match. I love that.
It's human chess.
Yeah.
And it's very. Shabisky was on the debate team in high school.
Were you really?
Mm-hmm.
You look like you were very Are you on mushrooms or acid right now?
oh, it's a cocktail of different stuff.
He calls it mush acid.
You threw in a T3 just for the hell of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I threw in some stuff underneath the sink. Whatever I
can want to debate. I
think my
Vito on Shabisky. Right now, we're gonna have a debate between you and Vito. What would be your topic to debate Vito on Shabisky?
Back scratchers.
Back scratchers. I don't know. I don't know what his stances are on stuff. You want to debate the best anal lube or something? Like, what do you want to debate about?
Well, I don't know nothing about that. But if you do, some guys you watch, you kind of feel bad because they know their stuff, but they're not great debaters. And then some people that know shit, but know how to
great argue.
Yeah, to make it look like, what's his name? Years ago, Booleanenator would know. His religion is Matt Slick. That guy. He is. Do you guys know who Matt Slick is?
I've heard of Matt Slick. Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's actually a good arguer. He's good at debating. Yeah. He's just his points are wrong. That's all there is to it. But that doesn't mean he can't argue them well.
I have an uncle, dude. He don't know shit, but he can sit down and sound like he knows everything because he's such a good arguer, good talker. And right. So I know what you're talking about. My uncle, dude, he could talk, but don't know shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard him argue for Trump, and I'm like, well, what is his policies? Don't know any of his policies, but can argue and sound good doing it.
Yep.
But and that's rare for a Trump supporter to sound good at talking.
That's what Matt Slick was like. He's I don't know whatever happened to him. I think he just kind of,
hemorrhoids.
He hung up because he used to have. Did he not? Booleanenator, did he not have a show that was just devoted to people would call in, he would insult the crap out of them, and then which I never understood why people would call in, but they would call in, ask a question, and then he would insult them. And I just thought that was what was that show? But it was anyways, it was just this awful show. But you couldn't help watching because it was so bad, and so it was kind of like
car wreck.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're wrong, you're going to hell. Next caller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned into that. It's at some point he
Well, I think that's
stopped,
the thing with a lot of people.
he just stopped. Like, he just stopped being, even debating the stuff he was debating. I think he got frustrated because he actually, in his mind, knew that his points were shit, but he was just so well spoken, and that's why people took
And you know,
him
and
as
it's
seriously
not
as they
just
did.
that on some people. Like some people just like to watch the chaos, and
Yeah.
they're like, okay, take
Yeah.
Shanny for Christ, right? Nobody likes her, but for some reason, people are obsessed with this bitch.
Yeah, and that to me was always what I thought G-Man was doing, where he would look at other people and say, you know what works? Instead of just talking, if I say the craziest shit, you know, if I say, you know, transsexuals deserve to die, people are going to get offended, and then next show people are going to watch. You know,
What do you think about grown women who like teenage boys in onesies?
what's that? What do I think of teenage boys in onesies?
No. What do you think about grown women who enjoy watching teenage boys and onesies?
No one said I enjoyed watching it.
Oh, she goes on and on about it. You don't want to even get started.
You are
with
the only ones that
this
keep
one.
bringing that the fuck up. My son wrestles in high school. They wear singlets in wrestling. Some of these boys on these teams are 300 plus pounds.
And
Those
she watches their
singlets
crotches.
make them look awful. And you can see it on their face that they are very uncomfortable.
Because you're staring at your crotches. That's
Yeah,
what
because she's
That's why.
she's staring at them and she's wondering why they look
Not
uncomfortable.
that they're 300 pounds
Wonder
and
why.
made to wear this thing that looks like a bathing suit that's hugging every single roll that they have.
Bitch looking at my dick so much. That's
You
why
can
they
see their fucking dick. There's so many rolls hanging out.
And you calling them fat. That's another thing that's making them uncomfortable.
I'm just stating
Yo,
the
person,
act-
look at that fat ass in that singlet. Missy, that's rude.
I never said it out loud. I thought it to myself.
I don't know, Missy. You always hide. You might be thinking you're saying it to yourself, but you're actually saying it out loud.
No, I do say things out loud sometimes.
Yeah,
not
Like
Not
pumpkin
much.
pie. It tastes like pumpkin pie.
Tastes like pumpkin pie.
Now I want.
Or I'll tell somebody that they're real rude in the grocery store that they're just going to stand there and watch the bitch bag it all themselves while they just sit there and look at her, put their thumb in their ass, look at them. The line is like fucking long as shit because they're rude. I will pop off at the mouth like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I got an argument
I'm not
on
going to say
grocery
something
store
too-
line the other day.
I'm telling
There was
you,
this little old lady who had like 2 products. And I let her in front of me, and there was a guy in front of her that had like 20, 30 items in his basket. And she had 2 items. She was an old lady. And I was like, will you let her in front of me? He's like, no. And I'm like, dude, I'm about to hurt you.
Yeah. There are people like that all over. It's disgusting.
I like going shopping and like $500 worth of, you know, food, whatever, and then having them bag it, and then like I stare like this, and then
Yeah.
and then
I
when,
will say something to you.
when they're done, I just go, yeah, I don't even want this shit. Just walk away.
I'm done. Yeah.
yeah, I don't have money.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see how you work.
I was in the parking lot yesterday at the grocery store. I had to run and get something, right? And I was backing out of the space, and I have a rear view camera that has like lines on it, so like you can see everything, you know, like I have a backup cam.
Yeah.
And I obviously use my mirrors too, and I use my camera, and I'm turning around, and this bitch starts beeping at me. And I look at her like, what the fuck are you beeping at? I'm not even near you. And she was mad because I didn't stop so that she could cut around me and cut through all of the lines to get to the other side of the parking lot.
Right.
So
Well,
I
you were
was
being
supposed to stop back.
ruthless.
Yeah, because I was backing up.
But you know what it is? People are
It's
oblivious
entitled.
when
It's
they're
entitled.
some people when they're in their car, they feel like they're in their house, and they feel like the rest of the world. They're oblivious to the rest of the world. It's
It's not
they're
even oblivious. It's that they're entitled.
That's
They
a lot
feel some
of-
sort of entitlement that that you should stop because they're coming.
yeah, and yeah,
Oh,
and
but
then
God forbid you're in their way.
when you do let them in, they give you that dirty look.
Right, or you get flicked off.
Yeah, and you're just like, are you kidding me? But people are fucking nuts, man.
There was also a car that was like on fire in that parking lot. There was a lot of things going
Maybe
on.
she wanted to get by because her rear view mirror was saying, "You're gonna die."
No, it was in front. Like she was heading towards the car on fire, but only so she could get like to a different parking spot, not because she knew the car on fire. She's just a
So the
cunt.
car was on fire.
It used to be. It wasn't at that moment,
Wow.
but it was. I pulled up right as the guy was like putting it out with the fire extinguisher, and I could hear like fire engines coming. So I just went into the store. By the time I came out, it was nothing. Like they were just around talking to each other.
Jeez. What's weird is seeing people like driving with their mask on.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I'm like, you're like, what do you
Like unless you're driving an Uber, but then some people have people in their front passenger seat, and I've never seen an Uber where you drive up front and sit next to the driver, unless they're driving like a truck.
I don't know. Like that kind of, I see that and I think, what the fuck are you on your way to rob a bank? Like what?
It's
what are you
weird.
doing?
Especially
I
if
think-
they're alone in their car.
Maybe they just don't. Maybe that makes them. Maybe it's like a Linus blanket now. It just makes them feel comfortable.
I think I think they're either very misinformed or they're just very absent-minded, and if they don't keep it on, they'll forget it.
Or maybe they want to piss you off.
They could.
That's what I do.
Assume-
Things like that.
I mean, it doesn't really piss me off. I just look at them like they're retarded. Ooh, sorry. I didn't mean to say the R word.
What'd you say, Shabby?
I'd say they probably just heard that it passes through the air, so some of them don't do their
That's what I
research.
mean.
Yeah, I just gotta wear it all the time everywhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean. Like they're just misinformed.
Now I don't wear it in the car, but I will wear it at the gas pump. I see people that wear it in the stores, but don't wear it at the gas pump. They feel comfortable, but we're right next to people when you're pumping gas. There's somebody right there looking at you.
Yeah.
And
There's someone
they're
on the other
coughing
side,
distance,
definitely.
So I wear my mask at the pumps. I won't, wearing it in the car is silly, but yeah. I think that everybody just needs to get used. And maybe people are forgetful and they slip their mask on just I don't know why they wear
Hey,
it.
you ever see those videos where somebody's not wearing a mask and they're videotape and their person's just like getting yelled at or like to leave? I saw one where this woman was on a plane. I don't know what happened, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't like. You ever get embarrassed because somebody's doing something stupid?
Yeah, like you feel the embarrassment.
Yeah,
almost.
And you're like, why aren't you feeling what I'm feeling?
Right.
Because like you're making yourself look like an idiot. But
Ooh, speaking of idiots, I shit you not, right? I took my kids clothes shopping. There was a dude walking around the fucking TJ Maxx with his mask covering his eyes and his nose and his mouth.
Wow.
Like he could not see. There's no way that man could see. And he was being like hanging onto the cart, like being drug around the store. And that's how he had his mask.
Well, that's weird. The thing that annoys me about the masks is they like, especially those disposable masks, is they like to ride up into my eyes all the time. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta pinch the fucking thing correctly. But I wear a mask.
Cloth ones.
Yeah, I usually have I just go buy a box of the disposable ones. Is what I do.
I found these ones. They come in a 10-pack. They're all the same color. But my kid, the younger one, he's an artist. He likes to draw shit, so he's been like drawing on all of them with fabric paint.
Yeah, it's become a fashion thing now for sure. I mean, I think it's safe. I think it's better. And personally, I wish everybody would wear a mask, but I'm not going to go yell at people if they don't. But I think I should wear a mask, but.
I don't know. I might yell at somebody the next time I see him not wearing a mask or not wearing it right anyway. Because I've gone to the Wawa, which is a local gas station. If you're not in the south or the east, it's called Wawa. It's the stupidest name for a gas station, but
no, I
love them. It's good food. They have good. They
got good meatball sandwich.
Yeah, it's a great place to go. Wedges. It's a great place to go, but I think that's a dumbass name for a gas station. But anyway, that's beside the point. I digress. There's this employee there. I've gone there twice, and he's wearing his mask like a chin hammock. The next time I see that kid, and he's young, you can tell he's young. I'm gonna go up to him and say, "You realize that mask ain't doing you a fucking thing under your chin. You're endangering everybody you work with and everybody who comes into your store by wearing it like that. And I don't think that your employer would appreciate you fucking putting their patrons in danger or their pocketbook at risk for being fined."
Right. There's one at the 7-Eleven.
Those are the consequences.
And masks do work because when we were having thousands and thousands of cases, and then finally our governor said, okay, we got to do a mask mandate. And when we did it, after a little while it started working, and now we're down to only hundreds of like 200 something cases a day. But now people are going to get comfortable, and we all know that flu season's coming up, and they say it's going to get worse than the fall.
Yeah, so, that scares the shit out of me.
I heard too there's these ones called long haulers now.
What?
COVID long haulers. They got sick and they never really got better. Like they have the symptoms for months.
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy thing about this virus. It's not. It's still ahead of science, right? Where science hasn't caught up to COVID yet. And so we don't know all its potentials. And it's mutating and it's doing different things. And now you can catch it through sperm. So now it's technically an STD. There's all kinds of things now going on with it. It's changing up. And so it's ahead of science. So until science gets ahead of it, we need to be extra careful. And if wearing a mask really bothers you that bad, then something's wrong with you. I mean, it's a piece of fucking cloth across your face.
Wait a minute, you get it in sperm?
Yes, you can now. They realize you can't get it through it can be spread through sperm now.
But wouldn't that be
droplets? It's any kind of droplet that comes from your body can have the COVID in it.
But that makes total sense. I mean, like if you're going through the mouth, if you cough.
Yeah. Well, they first didn't know. They first didn't think you could catch it that way, but now they're confirming that you actually can. So
I don't know how they're going to do it. Like with the airlines, how they I see videos of people on planes now, and if there's one person that has it, I mean, you're breathing in.
Yeah. It's recycled air.
Like I don't get why people are like. I know if you got to travel for business or whatever, but
that's why it'd be on necessity. If it's a necessity to fly, and wear a mask on a fucking plane.
So I have the numbers because I stopped trying to watch the news because it just depresses the shit out of me. But are the numbers starting to go down in Florida and where you're at and stuff?
I don't know about Florida. I know that
haven't
Mississippi
checked
was in,
Florida.
like my state was in a red zone for a minute, but we're starting to calm down because we did pass the mask mandate and people started doing it, and it got better. It's better. It's not great, but it's better. I don't know about Florida though.
You know who's handled it really well is Hawaii. Not only because of the way, but the fact that they had to handle it this way. But they treat it like it's and the Asian countries are even better at this.
Because they already wear masks.
The mandatory quarantining though. Like if you travel to Hawaii right now, and you get off the plane, they're finding out where you're staying, and they're checking on you for at least 2 weeks, and they'll ask you the questions like, "Are you staying at room 602 in the Hilton Hotel in Honolulu," for example?
Yeah.
And they'll make sure that you quarantine for 2 weeks before you even do anything on your vacation or business venture or whatever you're there for. They also want to know what you're there for so that they can keep track of where you're going and the people you come in contact with. And if they take your temperatures for those 2 weeks and they give you a test.
Yeah.
If your temperature's up, you go home. If you test positive, anybody who's around you or has been around you for the last 2 weeks gets quarantined too.
Yeah, and countries like Japan. I noticed PT mentioned it too. I was thinking that, they already were like very cautious about viruses and stuff, and they were already wearing masks and stuff, and so they did quite well with the COVID. They didn't, the COVID didn't take over their country like it did in other countries.
Yeah, but if they're doing all that, like it would turn me off going on vacation.
Yeah. Which I think people need to, and that's the thing right now. People want to get out and understand. Dude, look, right now I've been extra careful because I have an elderly mom that lives with me, so I don't do anything. And yes, it is kind of getting to me at times. It's and I do know that we want and I travel a lot anyway, so I do realize that people want to get out and do things. But right now, this is a sacrifice we have to make. And if you don't want to make that sacrifice, then you're being selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it sucks. It does. It's fucking horrible. There's been I've heard about a lot of cases of people who have anxiety really suffering through this. I have anxiety, so I understand. But it's just something we gotta do. And so I don't know. It's a sucky fucking time in the world. That's all I can say. And I blame Shabisky.
Yeah. Did you hear? If I remember right, they're called the Nelk Boys. They got in trouble. Nelk Boys. They're really big.
I've heard of them. They're basically like a frat party
bros.
YouTuber dudes. Yeah.
A bunch of dude bros and shit. But something that's interesting is they just got in trouble for going and having like get-togethers or whatever with their YouTube fans, and nobody's wearing masks. And so I'm not sure I 100% agree with it. YouTube actually stepped in and demonetized their channel because of it, even though it wasn't even on YouTube. It had nothing to do like directly with YouTube. It wasn't live streamed or anything like that. But YouTube saw that they did that event and demonetized their channel. So it's kind of an interesting thing.
That is an interesting topic, because if I was a company, and I'm going to say this, if I had people, because that is very irresponsible. That's so irresponsible what they were doing. I wouldn't want to put my tag on that either. I mean, I wouldn't want to put my tag on, as YouTube on them, knowing that they're being so irresponsible.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry. The Paul brothers, I'm pretty sure they're both facing charges for fucking throwing crazy big ass parties during COVID, and I'm pretty sure they're still punching their tickets, dude. Like,
yeah, but see, the Paul brothers make them a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, they sure fucking do. So who cares,
But, well, we all know that. Look, Jake Paul and Logan Paul's got by with shit that no other YouTuber could. I mean, the dude recorded a dead body in the forest, and if I'd have done that, I'd have get kicked off the fucking off the network. I've been kicked off the network for simple shit, but yet he records dead bodies in the suicide forest.
And it's not like he stumbled on it in a live stream either. He knowingly recorded it.
Yes.
And uploaded it. The fuck, dude.
And do not get in a discussion with Mundane Matt about this shit, because it is he believes it was a fake body and all this shit, and he believes about, and me and Mundane got in a debate about this shit one night, and he just but you know, yeah, the Paul brothers are shitheads. They're shitheads. I mean, Jake Paul got caught in a riot, didn't he?
Yeah, I think something
Isn't
like
that guy that has like millions of followers? Like he's got like is it Jake Paul? Is he like a tall, like blonde guy, big?
Yeah. Blonde.
And he does like stunts and stuff.
Him and his brother Logan, yeah.
They probably get between the two of them over $20,000 a month in YouTube ad revenue alone.
Yeah, and I'm like, they probably do that shit for the coin.
Yeah, he's just scratching his back.
$20,000, man, a month. Fuck yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So I totally understand why they're doing it. It's a fucking business, guys.
Oh yeah, it's a business. It's definitely a business. The thing about this though is that it pisses a lot of content creators off how. Because I don't care that they do the shit they do. Honestly, I don't get. Do your hustle, make your money. I don't give a shit what they do to make money. But I think it's just bad when they get by with everything and other content creators can't. I mean, they get kicked off for the least little bit of shit.
Yeah, but don't you think that they're kind of looking at it like business-wise? They're like,
oh, they are looking at it business-wise, but don't be hypocritical about it. Just say it.
Like I could sit there and go to Pimp and go, hey man, you want to make $20,000 a month, or you want to make $500 a month? What do you want to do?
I'm gonna make the 500, of course.
And if you say, well, I think 90% of the people out there will go make $20,000 a month, and I go, okay, this is what we got to do. We got to do shit that's gonna.
Yeah, and I'm okay with it. It ain't the Paul brothers that I'm pissed off. It's YouTube that I'm pissed off at.
Oh yeah, but YouTube is like weird. Like they will cut people. Like they will just. I mean, I had a strike on me from my own content. I mean, it was I did my own show, put it on there, and I had to. It took forever to get a hold of them, but I'm like, that's me. I didn't steal. I'm the guy on stage there. That's me. You know, and then they, you know, within 15 minutes, my video was back up, and I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, like what, like, I don't get it. Like, it's just, you just got people sitting around going, if some, you know, we live in a time where it takes one person. Just if they've got a beef with you and they want to wreck your channel, they could wreck your channel. You know, they could make your life miserable if they want to.
I don't. Missy's made my life miserable. And you, Missy.
Mm-hmm.
Missy loves me. She wants to marry my balls.
Specifically. My mind, look at the time.
It is the second hour. And what are we doing the second hour, Missy?
We eat, man.
We eat, man. That's when I tell you to give us money, and you do so. In the description below, Shabisky has a Patreon. Please throw him a few bucks. Missy has a Patreon. Please throw her a few bucks. Remember, if you become a patron of Missy, you get some lovely, sexy, beautiful pictures. Photos of the Missy. Photos, I said, of the Missy. Very sexual, very intense. There's watermelon and saran wrap involved. No, there's not. I'm making shit up now. But there is some beautiful photos of Missy. Also, in the description below, Booleanenator has a Patreon. Please throw him a few bucks. He's trying to get a computer and he needs a new computer system. So please help him out. Now, there is no photos of Booleanenator, but if you give him enough money, he may throw you one. I don't know. And of course, I have a Patreon, I have a Streamlabs, and a direct link to PayPal, and also will throw my Cash App in the chat if you want to tip, and I appreciate it very much if you do so. Tomorrow on the show, we've got, yes, I'm working on somebody, so maybe they'll be here. Only guaranteed guest we have this week, I know, is Black Guy TV, and that'll be on Thursday. But, yeah, so... yeah. Anyways, that's it. That's the shield for today. And Shabisky's ugly.
You want point of view hug videos?
POV hug videos. That's when you. That's point of view. That's like when you go into the camera and hugging the camera. It's like a first person shooter kind of thing.
Come on, let's hug each other. Come on.
You want to
have somebody wear a GoPro?
Aww.
Oh. Are you squeezing my balls? Yeah, they smell weird. I know.
I'm sure Missy may even work something out with a high enough Patreons. She may even write your name on her body parts. I don't know.
Oh, dang.
I know a lot of girls do that shit. She'll write your name right on her butthole.
Wait, Missy, stay there for a second like that.
He needs milk for his coffee.
Thank you.
So anyways, hugs all around, says Dylan. No, you don't get hugs from me. I don't like hugging people.
You're not a hugger?
I'm a fucker. No, I'm very much a hugger. I'm a good hugger. I love hugs, but I just don't like people.
It's weird. Like
So I go around hugging animals.
I love sex. I just hate sticking my wiener in a vagina.
Yeah. That's why there's butts. You know, other people stick dick somewhere else. They don't always stick it in the vagina holes.
Nope.
That's what Shabisky's mouth's made for.
Yep.
Shabisky, say something.
Something.
Okay, it's time for the word of the day from Shabisky. Word.
God.
Word
There's only so much days in the English. There's only so much words in the English language. I can't even talk. Oh my God.
There's only so many days in the human lives. There's only so many days. There's only so many days in a human's life. So, like, this will end when you die, Shabisky.
It's about to end?
What? Die?
Just give us the goddamn word, Shabisky.
Okay, hold on. God damn, let me pull it up.
If you'd have your shit prepared for the show, like most people do.
Okay. No, I got a word right here. Shut the fuck up. Okay. God damn.
Not a word.
All right. The word of the day is
Cinnamon?
Cacorhapiophobia.
What?
Hapiophobia. Cacorhapiophobia.
What is that? Champion for fucking hitchhiking? What did you just what?
Here, I'll
Cockphobia. Is that what you said? Cockphobia.
Cacorhapiophobia.
Are you saying like Mad Gab, where you stick that ridiculous thing in your mouth and you're trying to say?
Yeah.
What is the definition of this fucked up word?
It's the abnormal, persistent, irrational fear of failure.
Well, can't you just say failure?
What?
Can't you just say failure? Like, why would you say
No,
that?
Fear of failure.
It's the fear.
It's like a A
Wait,
phobia of
and say
fear.
that word again, but don't
Fearophobia.
stutter halfway through it 15 times.
Cacker-hapiophobia. Wait. Cacker-hapiophobia.
Wow, you sound like a
Why don't you
professional.
type it out in the chat, Shab?
He did.
I
He did.
just-
What the fuck?
Cack or
Cack,
It would be
so I
happy.
couldn't say it.
Phobia.
It would be cacker-hapiophobia.
Cacker-hapiophobia.
I don't like you, Dirt. Don't be saying it. because-
Cacker-hapiophobia.
It's half of a phobia.
Well, it's obvious a fear Shabisky does not have because he's failed so much and he just keeps trying.
He's the greatest.
You're a success at failure.
He's the greatest.
You're the greatest. So using the sentence, you gotta use it in the sentence now.
Pimp is a winner, and he has cacker-hapiophobia.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I just love this part. This makes me so happy. Anyways, thank you for the word of the day, Shabisky. You
Best
did
word.
good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Missy, what are you doing?
She's writing your name on her vagina.
With permanent marker.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, she's tattooing
We'll go
it
with
on
that.
her.
We'll go with that.
Mommy, don't use black because I think black pussing is racist. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, so it's black face and black pussing. I don't know.
Oh my
black
God.
Black pussing may be racist. I'm not sure.
It took me a
I
moment
don't
for that one to
think-
click for me.
I don't think writing a name on your pussy would be black pussin if you
Say
use
that word
black
again. Say I love it when a female says that word. Say it again.
pussin.
No, pussy. Say pussy.
Pussy. That wasn't the word that I said. I don't think.
So I
But
think
I
black
don't think-
pussy. I think putting black permanent marker on your vagina or hoe may be racist.
Yeah, you got to use neon.
Yeah, but you said write your name. So who's coloring in the entire vagina hole?
Why wouldn't you?
What is this
Name.
conversation?
I have no
Vagina
idea.
Let's go to the chat room and we have black people in there because we're not racist. We have black people in our chat room. Black people. If she puts black permanent marker on her puss hole, is it racist?
Who said the tattoo is going on the hole? You said tattoo your name on it.
You're the one who said
Didn't
giner
say-
hole.
Technically,
Didn't specifically say it's got to be on the fucking hole until you start talking about coloring in shit. No one talked
And
about coloring in shit. So you
I'd
were
like
just
to
going
point
way
out-
off.
I'd like to point out it's impossible to tattoo a hole. A hole is defined as an absence of material, and if there's
not
nothing
be
there,
specific here, goddammit.
Well, he does have a point, because if you do go to, like, it's like saying, yeah, that makes sense. It's like, you tattoo my hole, and you'll go, yeah, sure. Like, in, like, the rim? No, in the hole.
I think you're breaking down the joke too fucking much.
In there.
What I think's going on here, okay? We got two different black people disagreeing. One black person says, no, it's not racist. One black person says it is racist.
What's racist? Tattooing the hole?
No, black pussy. Have you not been listening?
No, I've been thinking about the hole.
Well, of course, black pussing is racist. No one's debating that fact.
So you're saying black vaginas are racist?
No, I'm saying black pussing. If you have a white pussy and you
Oh,
paint
so
the
if you
whole
have a
thing
white
black,
pussy and you blacken it out, it's racist.
probably, yeah.
Okay, so this is the kind of deep conversations we have here on the morning.
This is like Carl Sagan kind of shit.
Yeah, I know it, dude. I mean, we get to the real shit here. We don't fuck around. We talk about permanent magic marking puss hoes.
This is something where Socrates, all those guys sit around.
And
There
now
goes
it's time for your
fucking-
daily garbage pickup via Missy's living room.
Sorry,
This is gassy.
I thought it was muted.
So actually, Greg Lira makes up a great point, because if you black out a pussy, which is pink, wouldn't it become purple?
I don't know.
So it would be purple pussy.
Vito got
Guess
walked
so.
away.
Yeah, he's just like, yep.
To
I'm
go
done.
masturbate. We're talking too much about holes here.
Yeah.
Man, his stuff with the book, that reminded me, yesterday I was riding around and like it's like pouring outside and there's like a bunch of Christians on the side of the road with their damn signs saying Jesus saves and stuff. And like there's like little kids out there and I lean up out the window, I go, hell yeah! And they all start like cheering and then like the other people are like, what the fuck?
I would have yelled at, he may save, but apparently he don't make raincoats.
No, they had, some of them had ponchos, not all of them.
Purple pussies matter, says the atheist veteran. Hashtag
Yeah.
purple pussy matters. So what if you, okay, here's the second question. What if you do it, paint it yellow? Will Asians be offended?
Most likely.
If you painted it orange, would you be a Trump supporter?
Dang, it's a good question.
Maybe.
These are questions that keep you up at night and go,
Why the fuck did I think of that? Yeah, see, that actually is part of my daily routine. It's like, how the fuck did you think of this shit? Like, seriously, a mind like mine is not a good thing to have, because I think of some weird shit. Like, the other day I Googled dog having sex with pony. For some reason, I don't know why I Googled that, but I Googled it. And I found it. I found it too.
Spontaneous curiosity.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm like, I set it in my Google. I think we're going to do that in the future, actually, too. It's going to be a segment, Weird Things to Google. It's going to be a segment on the show. And we have to set it up with Bulls Googling it for us and showing it. But, dude, set it your Google machine and think of the weirdest shit ever, and you will be entertained. I guarantee you that.
Just about everything exists on the internet.
It does, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody right now type in Anthony Crusoe sucks big black penis and watch what happens.
Oh shit! No, don't do that.
And somebody else Google one-eyed, one-horn, black, purple pussy eater and see if it's racist.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just want to say something because most of you know, football's back. I'm so happy. The Packers won yesterday. Yes. Okay, that's.
I know I made a big Sunday dinner because football was back.
I'm a different human being during football season, by the way. I know this is I think this is your first football season with me, Shabisky and Missy. So I'm a different human being during football season.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Should I be
dude, I am
scared?
the dude. I know it's stupid, but I am the dude that throws things at the TV during the game. I am that guy. I actually picked up a television one time and threw it across the room and broke it because I got mad because my team lost. I'm that guy. I'm a fucking idiot during football season.
what's your favorite team?
The Green Bay Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
Pro. Ole Miss is my favorite collegiate team. And people ask me how a dude from Mississippi became a hardcore Packers fan. It's easy. When I was a kid, my biological father lived in Green Bay. Now, even though I didn't have a relationship with him at all, I knew he was there, and I just started cheering for the Green Bay Packers when I was a kid. And then as I got older, I legitimately became a fan, and that's how it happened. And then Brett Favre, being the quarterback forever there, was from Mississippi. He was a Mississippi boy, and I just became a hardcore. I'm a hardcore Packers fan. And the sad thing is, year before last, I was actually going to be able to go to my first game at Lambeau Field. I had the ticket, bought the ticket, everything, but then I got real sick and couldn't make it. So if somebody in the chat room says the Packers suck, well, so Kilo, you can go to hell and you're going to be banned for 5 minutes.
I grew up a diehard Giants fan.
Well, of course you did. You're in Connecticut.
Well, my dad, it was a thing with like my dad and his brothers and my grandpa. And then when my dad was younger, he was playing for, I think at the time they were called the Hartford Colonials or something like that. Yeah. And it was the minor league team for the Giants.
That was like the farm team.
Yeah. But then he had a knee injury, so he couldn't play football anymore. So it was just like a huge thing to cheer for the Giants.
No, I do not play fantasy football, Greg. I don't play it. I tried to a few years back. I just can't get into it.
So football is the number one sport in the state, right?
Yeah. It goes like this, basically: football, basketball, baseball, hockey.
And was baseball? I thought baseball was.
It was years ago. Many years ago, it was the number one sport, and then football took over.
And why?
They used to say baseball was America's pastime, but
that's right.
Football is now. Football is the number one sport because it's way more entertaining. And basketball is the second sport. I do believe basketball's above baseball, wouldn't you say? I think basketball is the second sport in America. Really? I mean,
baseball,
I would say so.
Baseball, you don't go to a baseball game because you give a crap about the game. It's all about the atmosphere at the field, right?
Absolutely.
Whereas a football game, you're rooting there, and there's excitement, and you're sitting there saying the ump fucked that up, and it's baseball's pace is just so slow. Technically, a baseball game can literally go on forever. It doesn't have to stop at 9 innings. If you tie at 9, you're gonna keep going until somebody scores, and it can be deadlocked for hours.
There's big lull moments in baseball. In football, there's not really any lull moments. The same with basketball. Basketball's a constant action game, so.
I like hockey for that reason. Those fucking
hockey's like that, but hockey is a more of an Eastern and Canada thing, Northern Canada.
I grew up in
Canada. That is their sport. Hockey is their sport.
But you know what surprised me about hockey? I thought they're trying everything to sell it to the Americans, right? Because you got to remember, like you said, Russians love hockey, Czechoslovakians, Swedes, Canadians, but in the States. Like, they just got a new team, the Seattle Kraken, and I think the guy who got the team, the GM, his name's Phil McCracken. He had to bend over backwards to get that fucking team. So, anyways, like hockey in the States, you would think the fighting and everything, you would think the Americans would like that, but. Yeah. The ratings just aren't there. So, when I went to I watched the Cleveland Browns were my team. I went to Cleveland and I watched them play the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. And I thought, what's so big about why the stadium was massive, but it was 3 days before the game of just people having fun, partying, go to the bars. And I remember that was the World Series was going on, and on the TV, I was at Hooters. It was underneath this bridge. There was a Hooters there, and it was packed. And a train would go by. It looked like something out of a movie. It was really cool. And they were showing college football instead of the World Series.
Football's ratings are way better than baseball.
No one cared that the World Series was on, and I'm not a baseball fan, but I just thought it's a World Series, so I thought they would have played the World Series, but they were college football. But I remember in the game watching, freezing my nuts off, and two guys hit each other. Just think about how cold it was. And it was like 70,000 people in this stadium. Must have been. It was huge. And just the noise of these two guys hitting each other, it sounded like an earth, like it sounded like.
Oh, dude, think about this now with the COVID, right? The like a lot of the stadiums yesterday didn't even have any crowds at all. So when they hit, you could really fucking hear it, dude. And it was like, yeah, I love that shit, man.
How do you think? Like, I'm sure like, they got to make money off of selling tickets and stuff, but even like wrestling or whatever, like they can't have people there. In racing, they can't have people in the stands. How the hell do they make money?
Merchandise, sponsors.
Yeah, but if you go see a game, it's not cheap, man. You know. So you think about...
No, they make a lot of money, but I mean, you got to think about like in America, right? Or football, like we were talking about how big it is here. You know how many people tuned in yesterday? Millions and millions and millions of fucking people tuned in yesterday and watched football. So Pizza Hut advertising made a lot of fucking money.
It's the advertising and merchandise that really pays the bills.
Exactly.
The ticket price for the stadium turns the lights on at the stadium. That's what the ticket price is for. That's all it really does.
Booleanenator, don't you think like to pay these guys the contracts and stuff like that, don't you think a chunk of money from people going to those games, you know, buying popcorn, beer, whatever, all that stuff, all that merchandise, that's got to take a hit at the end of the day.
Oh, they're taking the hit, yeah.
You know, like you got to sit there and go, we're losing coinage from not having people in the fans.
But I'm like,
they'd lose more if they didn't play at all. That's the point.
No, exactly. I know, but it's like I don't know how long they could keep that going.
Oh, way long. I mean, you understand? That's just a very small percentage of the crowd. Is actually a very small. The money they make more money through advertisement than they do the crowd ticket sales.
I would think they would make. Because I mean, going to a game, like to get good seats, you got to blow some coin, man.
Oh yeah, I mean they're definitely losing some money, but I mean Gatorade's paying a lot more than John is for the ticket.
Do you think if this shit keeps up, do you think like instead of guys making like 10 million or 20 million a year, do you think it's gonna like they're gonna just like the owners are gonna sit there and say, you know what, we did not make, you know, just say 100 million that year. We only made 60 million, so we got to renegotiate your contract to bring it down because we just don't have.
Oh, there'll be ripple effects. There'll be ripple effects for sure. At some point, the owners of the teams might actually have to fund in order to have a team have a place to play, they might actually have to fund those stadiums out of pocket. It will become a business expense as opposed to a business revenue stream. Right? They'll have to put it in a different on the other side of the equation.
I love the looks on Dirt, Shabisky, and Missy right now. Dirt's like, I don't give a fuck about this. Shabisky's like, I have no idea what they're fucking talking about. And Missy's like, I'd rather play Pikachu.
Well, I was going to say, if people are watching them on TV and stuff more, wouldn't they probably be making more on ad revenue than they
are
normally
definitely
would?
Making more on ad revenue.
Yeah.
They definitely make more on ad revenue. But now what he's saying is I do get that it is a big chunk of money that they're losing. But they would rather lose that money than get the Gatorade money, right? I mean, because the Gatorade money is a whole lot more money than the ticket sales. I mean, it just is. The Gatorade money, the Coke money, the movie advertisement, those is what makes the money, because that's a lot of they pay a lot of money for the advertisement. They really do. To advertise during a football game, they pay I read this years ago, but it was like twice as more than they would pay to air in a regular program.
Definitely.
Because there's way more people watching, right? Like,
and that's why their Super
why
Bowl ads are over the top. Like your Super Bowl ads.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, like Super Bowl ads. I heard
Those are like $1 million ads.
$1 million a minute.
Yeah,
right,
and
that's
so ridiculous.
And that's for the slot. That doesn't cover what they paid to actually make that fancy advertisement for that
that's
slot.
Just
like,
to secure their slot.
Right. Yeah. So they have to pay some fancy advertising company.
Because it's the most watched thing on American television. I mean, it is.
And they'd be fools to bypass it. So they pay the money and they get money back on the merchandise they sell from it.
I was like, I get so tickled these people who want to protest the NFL this year. All these, I'm like, yeah, that's going to work. Mm-hmm. We're going to, all these football fans are just going to stop watching football because Trump's offended. That's not happening, folks. Because football is life in America, dude. Some parts of the country, like, okay, take Texas, right? They bleed fucking football. Yeah, they may be a Republican state, but football's like their biggest profit in Texas. Mm-hmm. They're really going to give that up because Trump's offended? No, fuck you, they're not.
Absolutely.
You know, I say Friday night, dude, the football field is right down the road from me. I can stand in my front yard and hear them talk on the intercom. Mm-hmm. And people saying they're limiting the audience. They're not. Those bleachers were fucking full because I drove by the game. That place was fucking full Friday night. And guess who? I seen a lot of people walking around not wearing masks.
Of course.
But we're not going to get back on that. Football is life. It's like life here in America. So, I mean, and I'm a huge football fanatic. And I'm not going to stop watching football because Trump got offended or because somebody kneeled. By the matter of fact, fuck, I'll kneel during the goddamn national anthem. I don't give a shit. Just give me my football. And we need to move on because Missy's dying over here talking about football. Missy's a sports mom. She gets it.
But real quick, sports is a getaway. That's why people watch.
Love it.
Just to get away. Right?
I'm a sports fanatic. Football, basketball. Yeah, hell, I'll watch golf. I don't give a fuck, dude. I love competition. We've got a tip here.
Tip train time. Don't let PT and last be the only ones. Go time.
There you go. Tip train time. So Paragon wants to start a $7 tip train. We got like 30 minutes left of the show, so let's get that $7 tip train going on. If you do, by the end of the show, Vito here will get completely naked.
Well, all right.
He didn't take much convincing there, did he? He's been wanting to pull his dick out the whole show.
I still want to see that third testy, man.
I knew you was going to bring that up, you little fucker.
He's like, man...
There's not a day goes by in my life where somebody doesn't bring up a third testicle. It's true. I guarantee you on the internet, this is going to happen. I promise you with me. Somebody's going to say Segura thinking they're being original. Somebody's going to say testicle by my third testicle, and somebody's going to insult me for being fat. So, I mean, that's guaranteed shit right there in my life every day on the internet. So, Segura, third testicle, and fat.
You ever get into an argument with somebody and just halfway through it, just pull down your pants and go, fuck off, check this out?
Yes, I have. Dude, I pull my pants down more than anybody should. Like anybody who's ever hung out with me has seen my ass because I like to like when I was in Reno not too long ago and I was with a friend and she didn't expect me to drop my pants in the middle of the casino, but I did.
Did you shoot a man in Reno just to watch him die?
Just to watch him die. Because I guarantee you, Shabisky does not know where that line came from.
No.
Shabisky, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. What song did that come from? Who sung it?
It was called Reno.
No.
Oh, sorry.
He's got that perma-grin, I'm high. Like, it just... He could be taking one hell of a shit, and that's the smile he'd be taking.
Yeah, him and Missy both being major stoners, they got two different looks. Shabisky smiles and Missy gets this like philosophical stare on her face. And then she talks about pumpkin pies and she thinks that's smart.
Oh, God, I love pumpkin pie.
Yeah, but do you believe that pumpkin pie tastes like pumpkin pie?
The one from McDonald's.
She actually stated that one day. She said, I got this pumpkin pie and it tasted just like pumpkin pie. And I'm like, it's a fucking pumpkin pie. It's supposed to taste like pumpkin pie.
It's like, does this cherry pie taste like cherry pie?
Yeah. Earlier I got tickled at Dirt here before the show. He's like, I'm giving... He didn't say this, but I just took it as this. He's like, he did say I'm giving up alcohol. I'm going on an alcohol break. And then he lights up the biggest fucking bulb. Like, yeah, that's sobriety for you.
Yeah. You know, I got this great idea for you, Vito. You know, like this David Blaine guy, he like takes this magic and illusion to the
David
extreme.
Blaine?
Fuck him, right?
Right.
What you should do, because I don't know if it's ever been done, but I haven't heard about it being done. You should make balloon animals from the intestines of said animal.
No.
Now you can harvest the organs ethically or otherwise. I'm not sure how to go about it.
No, just cut them out of them.
Like, what do you mean? Like, tell the kids, like, do a kid show and go, by the way, this is an intestine of a llama, and I make a llama out of this shit.
Yeah,
maybe just for the adults.
Hold on.
You know,
Just,
an adult theme.
This is the liver of a llama.
Are livers inflatable?
I don't know. I was just saying something. Dirt, goddamn.
I don't know. You can use like a straw, maybe.
Shabisky, get on the dirt.
Get
Dirt,
on.
I'm gonna get the fuck on you, okay? I'm gonna show you real good. All right, I'm gonna show you real good, Dirt, you hairy piece of shit. Okay, fuck you.
Sexual.
What? No. I'm gonna teach him a lesson.
Sexual.
No, that's not sexual at all. Dude, you're weird, bro. That's not I'm gonna... The fuck, dude? You're weird.
No, man, get off me, dude. Get off. You guys are weird.
Dude, I'm gonna get right on you, bro. Fuck you.
you got a wicked mic setup, though.
Fuck you. Nah, thanks.
It's a compliment. The mic setup looks really nice.
Thanks, cool guy. Yeah, this is actually a thing for holding a vocal shield, if you know what that is. Why
did you assume he was stupid and didn't know what that was? Why did you?
I didn't say that was steady. I didn't say he was stupid.
You assumed that the man didn't know something. Why would you do that? He's a guest on the fucking show.
He's the greatest.
Why would you insult him?
It was an accident.
He probably didn't, his dumb ass.
No, it honestly looks like something out of like a radio show that they would use, like on a radio. You know what I mean? Like on a.
Yeah, because that's something they use on the radio show. You big fucking genius. God.
Here we go.
My God, man. That basketball net looks like they should put it on a goal.
I like how he's been scratching his back this whole stream. Oh, that's great.
I need me one of those.
God damn, I'm jealous.
I sell these for 3 easy payments at $39.95.
I'll get 3.
They got those ones that looks exactly like hands, little hands now. They're like little tiny hands.
And they like, are they, instead of like this, are they like holding like that? Like,
it's kind of like with a scratch. Yeah, like kind of like that. My mom's got one. We got it off Amazon.
If you do it the other hand, it feels like a stranger.
Yeah. I got it to jack off with because that's the size I need. I wish I had little tiny hands where my dick would look big. That's why I like going with midget girls. And Missy's got tiny hands.
I do.
She does get a tiny and a tiny little puss.
And tiny feet too.
The name, like if I was, like, do you like the name midget, or like they say you can't use midget?
Half a human's what I like to call them.
Or hobbit.
They're little people, I guess.
Yeah, little people. But
Half a human.
to me, the correct term is little people.
Undeveloped individual.
But to me, doesn't it sound like little people sounds like a toddler?
Technically, it's dwarfism, but okay, it's dwarfs. But
Well, there's different types of little people, right? But if you say little, hey, look, it's a little person.
Yeah.
Don't you? To me, it seems like you're saying. To me, it's like you're saying he's a kid.
But wouldn't you love to see a midget, like a really tiny midget with boobs the size of Missy? That would be fucking amazing.
No, that would be a
The poor thing would topple over all the time.
I know. It would be funny, just poke her and she'd fall down.
One explodes and they just.
Poor thing.
Yeah, they just fly over like a fucking balloon if you poke one of the patitties.
No, somebody tried that in the 8th grade, remember? It doesn't work.
No, those are giant brains. Shabisky is a midget. Brained. Anyway. And you owe me an apology, and I'm expecting.
You owe me an apology for that horrible joke. You owe everybody an apology for that horrible joke.
Let me just let you know right now. If you ever refer to me as your fucking sidekick again, I will fly to Nevada and beat the living fuck out of you. Because we all know, bitch.
Sidekick says what?
This is good.
It was my sidekick.
What?
I thought it was funny though. As soon as you said it, Ben fucking messaged me on Facebook.
He told me. He said, announce it on the stream. Then he messaged you.
Yeah. I thought it was fun. I had like 8 people do it, dude. I had a bunch of people.
That's funny.
It happens every time somebody says something about me. This person said that. I'm like, he was joking. He wasn't being serious.
I'm gonna talk shit on you next time I'm on TP.
I'll make sure you don't go back on DP then. How about that?
I mean, that was a joke. It was a joke.
Hey, you're in Nevada?
Yeah, he's in Nevada.
So are you close to
Vegas? He's very close to Vegas.
How is it there? Is everything still closed down?
I'm like 30 minutes away from Vegas, and I don't really go there very often or whatever. But I think
you know what's going on, right? The news and stuff.
Yeah, I think they opened the casinos back up, and
they have opened casinos back up, like in Tunica, it's our Vegas, which is not big, but they keep it very distant. And which in a casino, I can see them doing that. I can see them actually, because you don't have to be in the slot machine right next to somebody or the table, so I can see them being able to distance people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look, let's face the fact. We don't want to close down again completely. Like Dr. Fauci came out recently, I don't know if you guys seen this, and said during the fall we got to hunker down again. But he says we don't need to shut down completely, but we need to only go out when we need to and stuff like that and hunker down because the fall we got something big coming. But I can see the casinos probably being more easier to distance yourself in a casino than it is a lot of other places. Maybe I'm wrong. Fuck, I don't know. I'm stupid.
I don't know how they would do it for shows, like for the Vegas shows, because I
don't think they're doing shows.
Yeah, because I had to do a show. The venue sits 300 people, but only 50 people are allowed, and they have to be spread out.
Well, it's like the other day I ordered a salad from Subway, and it was so weird. It's the first time I've been to the Subway since fucking March. And I walked in, and they've removed most of the tables. There's 4 tables they've got, and people sit in there, and then so I just use the app, go in, pick my order, and get the fuck out. That's what I do. But it was weird to go into the Subway and seeing all the tables gone, just 4 tables up.
Yeah, that kind of messes me up because I bring my own table.
Yeah, you got to bring your own table. That's just, you're a magician. You can probably fit a whole table in your pocket.
No, I've actually, I have an umbrella in my colon. So
yeah.
But it sucks. When it pops open, I make this face.
I have a tumor in mine. So,
so it sucks when you're in the middle of ordering going, yeah, I'll have a tuna melted. And they know. They're like, his umbrella opened up in his ass.
And yes, I didn't get a sandwich, by the way, and I don't hear people say, Subway sucks. Yeah, fuck y'all.
Well, I hope it goes back, because my kids went to school today. I'm very, kind of bugs me. They have to wear a mask and stuff, and it just, I just think when I was a kid, none of this shit, like, it was nothing like this. So it kind of messes with my head when I see them with the masks.
Yeah, dude, we got to think about things like that. The kids, dude, man, they're having to go through a completely different world right now than we ever did. It's weird. They're having to, face things that we never had to face. And honestly, I don't see how they're going to keep kids from keeping. I don't see how they're going to keep kids from keeping masks on, because kids are annoyed by shit like that.
And they're kids. One of them's going to see that this one has a Spider-Man mask, and that one.
But that's what I was about to bring up, by the way. That's the reason advertising with the mask is very smart, because you get the kids interested in wearing a mask, like have a Spider-Man on it, or designs and shit. That's very smart, because kids will want to wear them then. So I actually do like that they're starting to brand the face masks and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you wearing leopard skin pants, Missy?
No, I'm not. Oh,
zebra? No, that's that's leggings, aren't they? So you probably got a camel toe right now.
They're like Indian print or something.
Well, let's all show for camel toes. All right.
Yeah, let's see your camel. You got a buckle knuckles on.
Buckle knuckles.
Yeah. He got him a buckle knuckle. He must have a large penis, because he wants to stand up a lot.
I have to, because it hits the floor.
Yeah. Mine does too. No, it does.
I saw a video this morning. I sent it to a bunch of people. And the video disturbed me.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't like.
What happened in this video, baby?
It was like a podcast or a radio show or something, and it was two guys, and one of them was reading this letter that had come out anonymously from this guy that used to be really big in rap and hip hop back in like the late 80s, early 90s.
Yes, ma'am.
And he got asked to come to this secret meeting in LA to some dude's house. And because he was going to be a decision maker in the industry, and it was like really like hush hush secret meeting, gets to the meeting, has to sign a non-disclosure that nothing will ever be spoken of that happens in that meeting, or you will lose your job and be like shunned from the industry. And in that meeting, there was 20 to 30 like hip hop artists, like influential, big to do names that he can't name. And then there was like 7 suits. And they basically said that their investors have bought stock in a whole bunch of private prisons.
What?
And they want the hip hop industry to start making all of their lyrics about doing crimes so that it can influence the people that are listening and make the youth want to be like the song, therefore providing bodies for their private prisons. And as long as they do this, they will be offered stock in those private prisons. And the guy flipped out, like some other guy flipped out. Him and like 5 or 6 other people got thrown from the meeting. And he eventually ended up leaving the business because he was just sickened by it. And he said over the past 20 years, he has watched their plan unfold. And he's like, what? They actually pulled it off. They fucking did it. Because if you look, any rapper that had a message from back then, like Public Enemy or KSI or Even they said Queen Latifah, like a whole bunch of artists that had a message or anything
believe this?
positive were pushed out.
Do you
I don't
believe
know.
this?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing where it's like I'm with Pumpkin. Like, do you believe this? Because it is kind of. I saw a video that was quite disturbing where a guy, he was a rapper and he was going to be really, really big. And he was told to go to a meeting, and he went to the meeting, and the guy said, "Hey, so you're going to be huge. You're going to be a big star, and we're gonna, your song's going to come out. Drake worked on it, or somebody famous worked on it, so it's going to get a big push." And he said, "All you need to do now is suck my dick." And the guy said, I can't. I
would have pulled out my mouthwash and went to town.
The guy's like, I can't, and he said, well, it's either that and you don't have a career.
Well, I will say there has been positive rappers pushed aside because they don't push that message. I mean, great rappers like KRS-One, one of the greatest fucking lyricists of all time in
Maybe
hip-hop.
that's what I meant instead of KSI.
It's probably KRS-One, yeah, because KRS-One is one of the greatest rappers of our time. If you don't know KRS-One, you really need to go listen to his music because he's fucking amazing, dude. I can see that happening.
I like KFC.
KFC.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't know if this was true. I don't know if this letter was I don't know if this meeting actually took place. I don't know any of that. But
I got something to bitch about too. I've seen it, and because I haven't really been paying attention, I've heard everybody bitch about it. I've heard a lot of people talk about it. The whole Cuties movie on Netflix. Well, somebody posted a scene the other day on Twitter, and I watched it, a dance scene. These are like 10-year-old little girls, dude, and it's bad.
Captain Keir
really bad.
Posted it. At least I saw her post one, and yeah, like at first I wasn't sure about that movie. I was like, everyone was thinking it was weird, and I was like, I don't know. It looks like it could be just like a Disney movie or something. Looking at the trailer, but then when I saw that dancing scene that I think you're talking about. It's like, it's weird. It's way too sexual and stuff.
Way too sexual. I mean, these little 10-year-olds are
shaking their butts and shit.
Camel toes, and they're patting their little vaginas, and it's just weird. It's just gross. It's basically kiddie porn with clothes on.
And it's gross. Crazy Renee told me that the director of that film, and he auditioned 650 girls.
Yeah,
so he watched 650 girls do that in front of him.
Yeah, but who's got the tapes now?
Probably the director.
Yeah. And well, here's the thing: we're all bitching at the directors, which he should be bitched at, and Netflix should be bitched at.
But the parents too.
Letting their children do this shit.
Right.
The parents should be fucking chastised for this shit. Because this is gross. That one scene is all I've seen. And I hear there's even worse scenes than that one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I heard there's some pretty horrible things. But the thing is, Netflix is a business. You would, if you were a business, and I heard because of this movie, they lost some astronomical number because people have canceled their Netflix subscription, right?
It's pretty bad.
Business-wise, you would sit there and go, you know what? Let's get rid of that because.
But now, wait for this. You know what the number one what's thing on Netflix was? Cuties.
Yeah.
There you go. It was number one.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, man. And I also heard Disney itself lost something like 90.
Were they involved in this?
I don't know. I think so. They lost Disney itself, because I think what Disney's mistake is they own, they purchased this, they purchased that, they bought Marvel, they bought all that. So what happens is you stretch yourself thin. So when this epidemic happened, nobody could go to the parks because the parks were making so much money. So I think they've lost like $90 billion. Like that is massive, man.
Yeah.
So when like you're like the number one show on Netflix was Cuties, but if you go by the numbers of how many people have canceled, I saw a guy showing that they're like on a graph showing
that and that new Mulan movie that they just put out, that live action Mulan.
Yeah.
Instead of putting it to theaters, they put it directly to Disney Plus. But in order to watch it, you have to pay $30 to watch Mulan, unless you want to wait until December 4th when they said that they're going to put it out for normal streaming for everyone to view. So they spent all of this money on making the Mulan live action, and how are they going to recoup any of that back if people just have to wait a couple months in order to see
Well,
it?
let me rewind for just a second. Go back to one thing I wanted to say, because a couple weeks ago when somebody brought up the Cuties thing to me, I was kind of like on what Shabisky was talking about. Like I was like, well, it's probably really at the end, it's probably an anti-child thing or whatever.
Well,
And
the trailer looks pretty innocent.
Yeah, the
in my
trailer
opinion.
does look innocent. I agree. But when after watching that scene, and if there are worse scenes than that one, like they say they are, then this movie should be protested, because these are children being taken advantage of. These are little girls. That one little girl in that fucking movie, I guess she's the star, the little black girl. I guess she's the star. Dude, she can't be no older than 10 or 11.
They're somewhere between like 10 and 12, I think.
And that one scene, which I hate to say this, but she was tapping her little hoo-ha like grown women do, and grinding and twerking, and I'm like, this is just sick. It's gross.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. And people, and I know people watch the movie out of interest, right? They hear about all the fucking hoo-ha and they want. Dude, don't watch that movie. Don't, because that one scene just grossed me out. And if there is worse scenes in that movie, you don't need to watch it unless you're. And now people have this movie, because this is sick. This is truly, the pedos are going wild over this shit. You know they are, because now they got something they can watch without getting in trouble for.
Well, they said they're trying to normalize it, right? And that's the thing. Like, I know, you ever hear a guy named, and I watch him just to see what he says, and some stuff, it kind of gets you a little nervous. But his name's, I'm screwing up his name, David Ecclestone.
Yes, I think that is his name, Eccles, something like that.
Yeah, he talks about stuff about how, what you said about that rapper going to those meetings, and he talks about how this has been planned 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's very, so you watch guys like that, and then it gets me all paranoid, because you see it happening, and
honestly, like, I've seen other movies where they portray kids, but it's usually grown people, right, playing younger characters. So it may be still a little gross, but it's actually grown ups, like, playing teenage kids. But in this movie, they actually had 10-year-olds, real fucking children, tapping their vaginas. It's sick.
What they had was the guy. It won the. It won at the festival in France, like the Sundance Festival or something.
Yeah.
So, but the guy, he just got charged about 3 weeks ago. For his second charge for, I guess, sexually abusing a minor.
Wow.
So, and he's the president, and he's going to jail, And
this isn't the first kind of movie that he's made like this either. Apparently, there's a different movie that he's directed about kids like this, and the kids he were using were 12, 13-year-old kids.
They need to look. Yeah, this guy. This is weird.
This shit's got to. I don't mind adults, but not fucking kids, man.
No, dude, it's gross. It's gross. And when you're having children dance like that, because these girls, like I said in this scene, I was like, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I could not believe that they had 11-year-old girls dance like this, because this was, I mean,
It's
this
like a
is what you see
stripper would
strippers
dance
do.
or something. Yeah, we were just saying it at the same
Yeah,
time. It's
this
like
is
a
what you see
stripper would
strippers
dance or
do.
something.
I mean, when
Mhm.
you don't have a child touch their parts like that, it's just gross. And like I said, and this was supposed to be a safer scene than other scenes.
And
So
then,
if there's worse than that, then fuck that shit.
yeah, but
Mhm.
what are the celebrities that are sitting there saying you shouldn't be watching this shit? Like the only one that said this is bad is Gina Carrera, the one. She's the actress in. Remember Deadpool, the strong
Yeah.
girl,
Mm-hmm.
when that she was super strong.
Yeah.
She was in The Mandalorian. She's like totally against the movie, but she's the only one, and then she gets called out. So
Well, what it is this whole thing about art, right? Well, look, I consider myself someone who creates art, and I know you do. That's when you start involving children, you've crossed the fucking line, and I'm gonna bash your fucking art, and because that's not good. This is what's happened in this movie is disgusting. It is exploitation of children, and nobody needs to bash the child actors because they didn't do nothing. They were just children doing what we're being told. But the people who made this fucking film need to be put up. They need to be fucking insulted as much as possible because this is wrong.
yeah, I think it's one of those things where people are going to look back and hopefully they just stop, and say, you know what, we gotta protect the kids, man.
I couldn't believe it, dude. Because honestly, I was like Shabby said earlier. It probably ain't as bad as what people thinking. It's probably just a little risque. But after watching that one scene, I was like, fuck, dude, this is crazy.
Well, you got to think about it. When you were 11, you never even thought, any of this stuff. You never even thought people are out there that are perverted, you just had your parents say, don't go here or don't do that or whatever. But
No, absolutely not.
You trust an adult when you're that age.
Yeah.
Like if your parents say, okay, you're going to go with this director, which is kind of weird because by law at that age you have to be on set with a child.
Yes.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. If I saw my child dancing like this, I would cause the biggest fucking scene.
And
then go and
Yes,
get
I've heard of
someone
that.
of authority. Like, absolutely fucking not.
By the way, I'll ask you a
fucking
question to Atheist Veteran. Yes, I have heard of the MAP movement. It's disgusting as well. It's very disgusting. It's basically men who are supporting they're not pedophiles, but they support pedophiles.
It stands for minor attracted person.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's kind of like Mambla back in the day. You remember Mambla, man, boy, some levels.
God. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mambla in a way.
They're trying
It's-
to hitch their wagons, what I heard, to
Dude, they're
They're
trying
trying to be
the
LGBTQ.
LGBT
Yeah.
community, and it's fucking weird. And most LGBTQ people that I know are like, no.
Yeah, they want. nothing to
Yeah,
do
they
with
don't
them.
want any of that. And I mean, you. I mean, I would be absolutely no. I don't want if you want, you start your own movement. Do whatever you want, but don't involve me in that.
That's fucking stupid, dude. But it is that time of the day when we have to say goodbye.
Oh,
Yeah, no, this is the worst part of the day, man. We have to leave. It's actually not the worst because Missy so wants to go. She has to go powder her puss. I don't know what I've heard that statement before, and I don't even know what that means. Powder your puss.
I don't know either.
I know.
But
what
anyways, do what, buddy?
I know what it means.
He wants to powder his puss. Anyways, we thank you guys for liking, sharing, tipping, and watching. We appreciate Dirt and the amazing Vito for dropping by. We appreciate you very much.
Thanks,
Missy,
Jeff.
Booleanenator and Shabs, as always, did a great job. We will see you guys tomorrow right here on the Morning Wood.